we recording with the window open, incense burning.
Can you be a little more serious?
Yeah, on the beat, 95, got the heat. Cut it up. Really? Yeah, used to doubt me on the low. Now they know, shawty low. Think I said this line before. Got the hope out the boat. I put 50 in the boat. Did a show, 50 more. If you love me, let me know. Told the Pope, holy smoke. Look, Holy Spirit on the speed dial. Probably still could spit a heater when I'm seen now. Harder than my demons, I got screw tape deep in D now. Being overdose, just drop the screw tape for the free now. Okay, getting spiffy for the photograph. Middle class minutes, had the picky in the cul-de-sac. I was in the country with the heathens, we were going bad. Gold all on my neck, giving worship to a golden calf. And we never sleep, homie rolling with insomniacs. Hold up, check my fit, look like Johnny Cash. Jesus say you only rich if it's a holy bag. Daddy say, man, you the shit, well, you the holy crab. Look, must be careful what you speak, from the heart is where it creeps. I put diamonds on my teeth, cause my heart is on the king. Put the team up on my back, they put tribal on their skin. I can never take an L, my Messiah always win. Why he never take it casual? Nearly under center, that mean he gon' catch the lateral. Eli got it jumping, grandpa screaming holy mackerel. Try to keep it calm, but we gon' turn the place diagonal. Yeah, we gon' turn the place diagonal. I drop lowercase to let you know it ain't about capital. I might meditate then fly away just like Aladdin. Me and John, we going back and forth just like a palindrome. Used to doubt me on the low, now they know, shawty low. Think I said this line before, got the hope out the boat. I put 50 in the boat, did a show, 50 more. If you love me, let me know. Told the Pope, holy smoke.
Hey, wait, with the ooh in the trap, ball like NBA, but I never hoop. About my business with no NBA. I dropped out of school, ain't no junkie in my DNA, but I got the juice. I just feel like Dr. Seuss. They ask who, I point out the elephant that's in the room. Sweep the feet, Harry Potter like it's magic in a room. And my Sid been evacuated just like Jesus' tomb. This man, he a big man. I got wheels, BMX, ain't no kickstand, ain't no feels for my ex. Look at this hand. This a gang, ain't no click, we don't disband. I got plenty hope, I told Satan no. Taking shots long distance, but it's quick scope. If I got it, then I got it, ain't no slip, bro. Reppin' West, but it's Dago, ain't no skip, bro. Okay, my demons fed up, my God said pick your head up. I'm married to the dream, like my version ain't Coretta. I never chase the cheddar, I'm only getting better. You rappers hella funny, you sounding so Heath Ledger. Almost done. John keep going with the wind, Holy Spirit called him up again. Demons try to throw me on the fence, take the land and all I see is 10. I ain't did shit for the trends, got some, why would I pretend? Village on the way, pay attention, can't keep up, take a hint.
Used to doubt me on the low, now they know, shawty low. Think I said this line before, got the hope out the boat. I put 50 in the boat, did a show, 50 more. If you love me, let me know. Told the Pope, holy smoke. Eli on the beat, 95, got the heat.
I really like the people we're becoming.
Wow. Shorty on the low. Hey, welcome to the No More Dirty. You already know the session, Bible, Beats, and Bar. And I'm just feeling good. I feel like I was on my TV show for a second. I was like, so listen, I want to say thank you for taking time to tune in and lock and load and watch. We are here every Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that means if you are on the East Coast, that means you go up an hour. We start at 3 for you. If you're on the West Coast, then we double back. That means we start at 12 noon or thereafter versus 2 p.m. If you're somewhere like in New Mexico, Arizona, they have a changing time zone, then it might be an hour behind. All right. So again, we want to say thank you for tuning in to the session, Bible, Beats, and Bars. Listen, I'm your host. I'm excited because we are dead smack in the middle of this amazing series called Just Getting Your Life Together personally, intimately, before your marriage starts. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring in my homie. You already know your friend, Dr. Michael A. Cross. What's going on, family? What's happening, bro?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Hey, hold on, let's say we're gonna
Good
get
to
this
be here
sound right.
again,
Thank you.
live on the session.
There you go. There you go, man. You doing well, man?
Oh yeah, yeah, all is well, man. We're doing good. Beautiful day today, so just glad to be alive and
It is
glad,
gorgeous.
as they say, glad to be seen and not viewed.
For sure, man. I like, man. You just be traveling. I see you every time I see you. Got a you on a traveling assignment. Well, we are glad that you got your assignment
Yeah,
and you
man.
fell off the session.
Fell off right there at the session. Oh yeah, man. Good to be here.
Good to be here, man. Well, listen, I'm excited about the continuation of this series, which is what's the name of the series, bro? You already know. I love it. Your title and how do you do what this is that you do?
Oh man. So we're talking about saving your marriage before it starts. And we've dealt with so many hot topics, man. I mean, we've dealt with, mindset. We're going to deal with the red flags, and et
Oh
cetera.
man,
And today we're going to deal with communications, how to have better communications with your potential spouse while you're in a relationship. Like I said, you want to have that 18-24 months. So
yes, sir.
yeah, man, good relationships, good communication.
So let me do this. Let me go ahead and throw a scripture up, and then we need to go. I definitely want to take a minute to promote an amazing gospel stage play, and we're going to show you the video afterwards. But let me go to the flip the script, man. I think it's important to kind of set the tone. So let's do, Doc. I'm going to do the scripture or the text, Proverbs 25:11, if you don't mind.
Mhm.
All right. And it says, a word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in settings of silver. Bro, well, that right there is, look, first of all, King Solomon has some bars, man, like
Oh yeah.
Bible
Oh
beats and
yeah.
bars. If
Yeah.
he was right here kicking it with us today, bro, it would be something, man. I'm telling
Oh
you.
yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah. Yeah.
dig in on that before we go to this, because I definitely want to take the time at the top of the hour and then at the bottom of the hour to share this play that I am personally promoting and pushing because it's going to be an amazing play. So let's talk about Proverbs 25:11. What does
Yeah.
that
Real
mean?
briefly. Yeah. Briefly. It's important that we are very mindful of the words that we say. Words. The Bible says that your tongue is like a two-edged sword. And you can hurt and you can harm and you can uplift, individuals just by your words. And so what Proverbs is talking about is you watching what you say and being mindful and catching every phrase and catching every tone and making sure that your words are sweet and that they're savory and they're like apples in a bowl. You ever seen those real royal settings where they
Yes,
have
sir.
all this
Yes,
silver
sir.
and gold, all over the place and they put all these, fruits and different things in there? Well, it's appetizing. The reason why they put it out
Like,
there is so
mm,
that it is appetizing, so that you can grab a nice shiny, apple or orange or mango or, whatever it is. And so
I
that's what they're saying. Yeah, yeah. So they're saying your words need to be as appetizing as apples in a silver bowl, and that's what it simply means. Be watchful, be mindful of the words that you say, that they become appetizing, rather than, Minister Fred,
mm,
bitter in your stomach.
come on, boy, you preaching now, doctor.
That's a
You
whole
took
nother
the
ball
doctor
game.
on. You took the doctor. You said, "Let me shelf the doctor and give you some of that good bishop. Give that good bishop education. Listen, don't mess up with your
Don't mess
word."
up. Yeah,
So we're going to talk about that today on the
yeah, yeah.
session Bible Beats and Bars.
Oh
Listen,
yeah.
I'm excited, Doc. I am really excited because you know what? Some of us learn the hard way.
Oh yes.
A lot of us are still learning the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
one more thing, Doc. Dr. Cross, why is it so important that we understand the value of words? The value of words and its
Um,
relationship to having a good relationship. Let's dig
Oh
there.
yeah, 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 yeah. We have to be mindful that words hurt, Words can break up a relationship. When you get into these big arguments, sometimes you say things that you can't take back. Words sometimes can be impulsive. They can be hurtful. They can just dig deep. And when you can't take those words back, your words have consequences. And we've learned that just in relationships, in politics. We learned that at the pulpit when pastors are preaching and you trying to say a word and something slips out. And we've had a pastor get fired because he mentioned that something about husbands have the right to beat their wives and all that. And he got fired. He was let go and fired because your words have consequences. And so we must be mindful that if you don't want to get those consequences, be mindful of your words, watch your words, and baptize your words and pray on your words before they come out.
So I know before we get into this, I've got to share. There is a young lady, and first I want to say kudos to Chanel Wesley. She has a play. It's a gospel stage play. Now, what's really cool about it is it almost falls in line. It does fall in line with what we're talking about today. The name of the stage play is called "The Beautiful Truth About an Ugly Lie." I want you to take a look at the video. It's a little short video. You can watch it in person, but that's if you're out of state. They're in Wisconsin, but they're also doing a virtual viewing of the gospel play. So I want to just take the time to let you all know that we here at No More Dirty, the Session Bible Beats and Bars, we truly believe in positive, clean, message-oriented entertainment. And so, again, the name of the gospel stage play is "The Beautiful Truth About an Ugly Lie." I want you to check it out, and then we're going to get right in with our good friend, Dr. Michael A. Cross. Again, you're tuned in to the Session Bible Beats and Bars. This series, you already know, with my man, my homie, your friend, your doctor, Michael A. Cross. We'll be right back.
I guess every family has its secrets.
I hate you. I hate you. All this stuff going on in my house right up under my own nose and I didn't see it.
She's
This
just
is why
as
Felicia
guilty.
hates.
I needed her. We all did. But she couldn't be what I needed her to be for me. Because she was too busy being everything for him.
Listen, I want you to take the time to go to this website, www.
Yeah, I'm going to call it right now. I think I found the single biggest productivity hack of 2021. It's this.
Yeah, they're trying to take over. They're not going to take over today. www.cecsinc. So it's ccsinc.com. That's the website. If you go to our website, nomoredirty.org, we'll have it. The tickets are just a $10 donation, 15 at the door, but virtually it's just $10. And we want to make sure that you know that we believe in supporting plays and entertainment that's going to make a difference in our community. So here we go. Let's get right back in with my good friend, your friend, Dr. Michael A. Cross. All right, man. Listen, we're talking about communication styles, right?
Yeah,
Or should I say lessons, right? Is that because you do a lot of lesson sharing, right?
Yeah.
So what will we discover? Because tell us how many communication lessons you want to share in total, and then we'll kind of figure how we're gonna go from there.
Okay. All right. Well, communication is the lifeblood of your relationship. The more understanding and better understood each of you feels, the stronger your marriage, the stronger your relationship. And so we're going to delve into 5 lessons that will teach you how to have better communications. Now, the total is 10 lessons, but I think we're going to split it up to give you more time to kind of take notes and etc. And so We're going to start with the first 5. And I believe that these 5 lessons now, they're not in any particular order. They're just 5 bullet points that I believe will be beneficial to having, better relationships.
Love that. So listen, folks, what we're saying is we're going to cover 5 today. And then next week, we're going to cover another 5. That'll give us 10 powerful, practical, doable life lessons that will help us as individuals in our relationships with the one or the ones we love in terms of a relationship that leads to a healthy marriage. Let's dig in. Number 1, what you got for us?
Excuse me. All right. So number 1, let me just get my notes here. I'm trying to put my screen together here for you. Just give me
I'm
a
excited
second
too.
here. Oh yeah, man, this is going to be really, really good.
Man,
And I
think
believe
if,
that
I
believe
someone,
that couples are going to be blessed by it. You're saying?
yeah, I believe that if a lot of us knew a lot of this ahead of time before this show, we would be in a better space and a more healthier relationship, even if we're already involved. So I
Oh
am
yes.
very grateful, for real, for real.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So let's delve into number 1. Number 1 is plan sufficient time to talk and listen. Plan sufficient time to talk and listen. One of the most important aspects of communications in a relationship is to learn to listen. A friend of mine, Lamont Lockett, shared with me that I sometimes have the habit of hearing but not listening. And we are all guilty of that. In an intimate relationship, it is even more important to take time out of one's busy schedule and talk with each other and build the skills of listening to one another. And even in this task, the old saying goes, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen more and talk less. In times that you spend having intimate conversation as you learn about each other, it is beneficial to keep an open mind, be honest, open, and transparent, and most important, be willing to humble oneself to the love and compassion of your partner's most intimate details. So we're going to break that down. I mean, I know, Fred, you have a ton of questions, and we're going to start to break down what it means when it says plan sufficient time to talk and listen.
Listen, as you were talking, somebody just chimed in, hit us up, and said, "What does time actually look like, or how do I create this kind of time/space to have that intimate talk with my wife?"
Sure, yeah, absolutely. One of the things that you could
coming in hot, baby. They're coming in hot.
Oh yeah,
today.
they come in hot. we appreciate that question. Yeah, one of the benefits of the time that you should spend is, we have busy schedules, we have careers, we have children, we have the bills, we have so many things that press against us, that give us that stress, and the best way to do that is if you're in your bedchamber, take time to just sit and have a conversation, or make sure that on your date night, even date night. See, I know a couple, my good friend, very good friend, Myron Edmonds, and his beautiful wife, Dr. Myron Edmonds. And Dr. Myron Edmonds tells us in his ministry that even after him and his wife have been married for many, many years, they still have a date night. A date night. They take time out of their weekly schedule and decide a consistent date night that they go. Now, it could be, a walk on the beach. It could be, at an intimate restaurant. It could be, hey, I'll cook and we stay home and we have a date night, intimate date night in the home when the kids are away, etc. So you as a husband, you as a wife, you as a dating couple, find those times. Take the time to say to yourselves, we will isolate a specific time that we can sit down and begin to have those types of intimate conversations. Very important as well is write down your questions, write down your concerns, and have those open-ended questions to begin the conversation. And then from there, you'll see it just flow naturally. You don't want to go into it. This is the time for us to have this argument now because I got a problem, and let's talk about it. No,
That's not
that's
objective.
not the time.
Yeah, and it's not objective at all. That's just
Right,
I'm sneaking in a low blow or
right,
a crazy conversation that could have probably been resolved by just conversating instead of being accusatory.
right,
That's
right, right. Exactly. Yeah. Don't make that time acrimonious. Don't make that time the time that you want to get stuff off your chest and start blaming, because what happens is it will devolve into an argument or into a resentment or into, okay, honey, you put this candlelit dinner, and this violin next to us, you know, and you did all of this just so that you can air your dirty concerns and then argue over. No, no, no. That is not the time to do that. The time to do that is when you precursor that by saying, honey, we have a concern and let's talk about it. But planning sufficient time to talk and listen requires you to be humble, to listen to your partner, to hear their words and what they have to say, and also to show that you care about your time and their time together. And so that's very important.
I have a question. Another question came in, and the gentleman said, "Thank you." The question here is, with what you just shared, what is the average time will you recommend that we spend with each other doing what it is we need to do in terms of a conversation or even just quality time?
Yeah, quality time. Yeah. A good barometer would probably be like an hour and a half. Good hour and a half should not be too bad. Maybe 2 hours, depending on the intensity of your quality time together. So I would say, yeah, about an hour and a half to 2 hours is good. And that could be, look, I know, even if you say, let's have an intimate dinner tonight, um, come in from work or take, the time off, tell your boss, tell your employer, look, can I get a half hour? I can leave a half hour early or something, you know, and while you're chopping the vegetables, while you're washing them off, while you're, preparing the pasta, while you're marinating the meat, whatever it is that you're doing, do it together, you know, do it together. Or if you choose not to do it together and surprise your spouse or surprise your partner, then do it. And then when they walk in, hey, we're having an intimate dinner. I got everything prepared. I ran your bath. I got your bath salts and your potpourri, and I got your favorite Barry White and Smokey, and something going on in the background. You got to set that tone, but you got to set that ambiance, to show your spot. And it goes both ways. Don't, we always talk about the chivalry and it's the men's responsibility. Look, men love to be pampered too.
That's true.
We have stress. We come in from a hard day's work. So it goes both ways. This idea of, oh, it's the wife's world and I'm just here, as a whatever on the side, and I got to pamper to every single thing that you want, and then it's really a 70-30 or 80-20. No, it's 50-50. And men like to be pampered as well. We love for our wives to say, hey, my husband came home and I put out his pajamas and I ran his bath and I've got a little something on the side, and then we're going to get intimate later. Whatever it is, men also love to be pampered. So, it goes both ways.
I love what you just said. And let me chime in, Doc. There's something for those that work long hours. I work 10-hour days. I know others do in terms of working maybe government or maybe working
Right.
private contracts or even
Yeah.
in blue collar or white collar, doesn't matter.
Hmm.
One of the things I like to recommend, and I'm glad you brought that up, Doc, is if you're working and you're working in a career position, one of the things that's available to you is this thing called PTO. You have that personal time off. Another thing that's available to most folk on a job is things like a mental health day, a personal slash vacation day. Let me say, with what you've just shared, Dr. Cross, I believe it's important that you should do at least 2 mental health days every month.
Hmm.
Every other week. You get paid every 2 weeks. Make sure one on the odd week or maybe on the pay week. Take one of those days off. And maybe that's what we can do and say, hey, listen, I'm off on this day. I'm going to take the day, have everything all set up like what you just shared, and then
Hmm.
we're going to take a trip, do a day ride on a boat trip, go down to New Orleans and do a ride, Mississippi, or fly to New York for the weekend, or just take a ride for 2 hours to go to the zoo or aquarium or something, and then
Yeah.
come back, and you have all that time to communicate. To tell me something I don't know about you. I think
Right.
I know everything,
Right.
but obviously I don't. You know?
Right.
What do you think? Doc?
Oh yeah. Oh man. Look. We live in a society now where um, employers are now giving you so many options for family time, family leave, like you said, paid time off, personal time off, mental health time off, and they are beginning to be more cognizant of the fact that a happy family, happy couple, happy husband, happy wife makes a happy employee.
Correct.
And so, yeah, and so whatever you can do to just pull your boss, your supervisor, somebody aside and say, look, my wife, my husband, my significant other, my fiance, we're going through a small little spat right now, or we need some assistance, or we need some help. Can I
Yeah.
utilize and avail myself of these different days, vacations,
Mhm.
holiday times, and all these different days once or twice a month to spend time to get these things resolved and to really invest in time? And I guarantee you, like you said, you take that
Mhm.
trip to New Orleans, you take that boat trip, you go on the weekend and find you a nice little corner of the park and do a nice little, picnic on the park with just you and her with a nice, little basket with food, whatever it is. Spend
Yeah.
time.
Correct.
Monday morning, who you think gonna come into work? De-stressed,
Smiling
feeling
and
good,
grooving, skipping.
skipping, big smile on their face. Yeah,
Yeah, I love
both of
that.
them gonna come to work ready to
Right.
come in and put their time in to say, hey man, supervisor, boss, thank you so much. We spent a weekend just enjoying each other, and I'm coming back to work ready to give you my 100%. But you
You know
don't
what? I
want
love
someone coming to work and they
Woo.
all been out of shape, you know, mad at the world, and
Dude,
production goes down,
by
So
30% minimum.
right. Yeah. And so you're right. It's very important that you take those times off and invest in your significant other.
So let me chime in too. Now, for those who have supervisors and bosses that are not so understanding, let me just say, if you are working for a company that has those things available, one of the things you may want to do is go and speak with HR and find out how many hours you have
Hmm.
available to do that, to take some time, and then you can ask for recommendations from HR, because HR is just going to give you the facts. And then the other thing is, if you are in an environment where you're not comfortable sharing, just say, hey, you just all you need to do is just put your time in and make your move and go on about your business. And then for those that are not married but have an interest, right, and you have children, be sure to look at the daycare options. Some of the bigger or franchise organizations have on daycare, and then there are also referrals if you're an employee of a corporation, a company, an agency, or a nonprofit. So I just wanted to throw those in because I've had a supervisor, we didn't see eye to eye, and I never said anything. I just took my days, and it was good. I came back happy, knowing I was going into a very non-accepting environment, but got the work done anyway. All right, so
Oh
let's
yeah,
go to two. Let's go look at two. What you got for us?
yeah.
The second communication lesson.
Let me go back to one little point you made, Minister Fred, about
Sure.
number one and talking about sufficient time off to talk and listen. That also includes those blended family, those children.
Hmm.
Because let's say you're dating and one or the other couple has already children from a previous relationship, right? You
Right.
don't want to just spend your time only with her or him because you love him or her, and then you don't have any time with their children. So that
Oh,
spending time off also includes building a relationship with the children that will eventually turn into your stepchildren.
wow, that's
That's
powerful.
vital too.
That's very important. And really, actually, if you don't mind, before we go to the second, I know we have a little time. One of the things I want to ask is, what if you have a situation where you have a blended situation with a family, you and
Hmm.
that love of your life, or the one you want to spend your life with, and they have children, whether they're teens, primary, high school, or young adults? What would
Right.
you say to that individual who is in this situation with this young lady or man, and there's not a great relationship established? What are some things to do to maybe able to help establish this family dynamic, even though
Right. Right.
I ain't your daddy and you ain't my mama?
Right.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. That kind of
What
yeah.
you think?
The one thing I've learned about children, I have been a dean working with children for many many years with kids. Ages sixth grade up to 12th grade. When I
Mhm.
was at Oakwood, I was an RA. I was a night dean as well. So and I've been a youth pastor and worked among the young people throughout my career in ministry and chaplaincy, etc. And certainly as a chaplain, I have been where I've married couples with blended families and etc. And of course done counseling. And one of the things that we learn about children is when you take an interest in their hobbies and their likes and what the things that they engage in, when you take that interest, they become interested in you. So if you have a blended family and you are dating someone who has children of whatever age. Now, of course, if you're 2 years old, that's a different story. They just kind of naturally, come to you and you kind of love them. But the point in which they begin to realize their surroundings and they have little things, they like Marvel, they like DC, they like Batman, they enjoy drawing, they love art. They love sports and football and soccer and track and whatever else that they enjoy. Take an interest in the hobbies and likes and things that they like to do, and be aware of the trends and things that are going on within those interests, so that when you confront them, when you come up and you say, "Hey, let's spend time together," it's not spending time just to talk and just. I mean, that's important. You're going to talk. You're going to communicate, but children don't do well with these long, drawn out, conversations. They do well with fun, with throwing a ball around.
Right.
They do well with interest that enjoy, and that fun time allows you to have the conversation so that while you're throwing the ball around, hey, little John, man, how you doing? How's school? And I hear that you like this little girl, this little young lady in high school, and how's that going? And what can we do to help? And then they start kind of sharing and trying to build that relationship, that open and honest relationship, and that communication with you. So those are just some ideas when it comes to dealing with that age group. That if you show an interest in their interest, you've won them over, you know.
Mm.
Um, and then later on in life, later on as they get older, they will realize that yes, you may not be mom, you may not be my biological dad, but you can be a role model to me as a stepfather, stepmother, that I can, lean on and depend on and come to when, life lessons and life situations happen.
Love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Man, we appreciate this good information. All right, let's get in on the second point. What's the second lesson, Doc? What do you got for us in communication that can
Oh,
help
yeah,
us?
man. Number two, take time to be certain that you reach an agreement, right?
Wow.
Take time to be certain that you reach an agreement. Now, let me share a couple points. We are not always going to agree on every subject, but taking time to have conflict resolution is healthy in a relationship. We must learn to be gentle and compassionate, even when we may disagree on something. It is also beneficial that if you come to an impasse, uh, uh, agree to disagree and come back to the subject at another time. When we have a disagreement, it should never devolve into an all-out war. And what usually happens when war breaks out, ego steps in, impulsive behavior steps in, words are said that cannot be taken back, and a simple disagreement can turn to divorce, or in the case of a dating or courting, a breakup. It is also wise to utilize the principles of Matthew 18. We're going to make this biblical as far as possible. If you feel there is a need to bring an objective third party in, then that may be an option to bring peace and resolution. So we're gonna break that down, Minister Fred, about what does it mean when you have a disagreement and how to come to an agreement, or at least how to come to a sense of peace if you come to a disagreement.
That is a very powerful one, and I think that's one of the toughest ones.
Yes.
At least just from my conversations in general on work and in personal spaces, is how do you have a genuine conversation that's loving and respectful and still come to a solid conclusion, like you said, something that is clear. This is what, after we had our conversation, this is what we choose to work on after we have decided. What does that look like? Because I think that's a big thing. It's one thing to say, well, this is how I'm feeling. And she says, this is how I'm feeling. And you're like, I bet. Okay. All right. We'll agree to disagree, but there's no resolve.
Yeah.
Help me
Yeah.
with that, Doc.
Yeah. So here's the thing. There are tools always available when it comes to this idea of communication where there is a disagreement or there are two camps in which one believes one thing, the other believes one thing, and we are just not going to agree on this. One of the things that we must learn in a relationship that often devolves into this huge all-out battle, we must learn to accept that we may not always agree on every single detail. We are not robots. We are not automatons. We are human beings that have different personalities. You come to a relationship from all kinds of external sources that press upon your worldview. And so your parents may give you a worldview on a particular topic. Politics may give you a worldview. Religion may give you a worldview. Your friends and your buddies and your pals and your coworkers and your employer may give you a worldview. And those worldviews may be different. That opinion, that position may be different from your spouse, from your partner. And while you may discuss it, you may bring in a third party, objective third party. You may come to someone like myself, a counselor, to help you to kind of look at it from a different perspective. You may get to a point where we say, look, I've heard all of that. I understand. I just feel that this is where I stand. Okay. Then that means you have to come to a point where you say, well, honey, number one, I'm not going to allow this worldview in your position to stop us from dating. stop us from getting married, but I have to, husband or wife, male or female, come to a realization that I have to accept that position and not allow it to destroy what could be potentially a good and long lasting relationship. We can have all kinds of positions, but, um, you know, let's talk about, Fred, what do you think is a good topic that you think would um, bring concern? What would be something that you would be disagreeable, or something that you know that you have a position and you're not
Right.
gonna get, yeah.
So let's just pick two couple examples, one, and then we can do a role play. So
Yeah.
one of the individuals in this amazing relationship sees discipline different. One says, I'm a little bit more traditional, where some might believe in still some form of spanking or some form of punishment in terms of that. And the other might say, I don't spank at all. What I do is I have a conversation, I take things away, um, time out, whatever the case may be. That I think that's a very big one. I see that all the time when I'm having conversations with my families
Hmm.
on the job. So I think that will be that's a very popular one. And then the second thing would be how you see intimacy from your love language. My love language is touching affection. Mine is um, recognition, words and what have you. Well, I need more. No, you need less. Those kind of things. So, what would you say to those two, Jack?
Oh man, wow, those are two very powerful ones for real. Let's address um, the discipline part.
Discipline. Yes.
Um, the first thing that I think would be most important is for both individuals to do some research and to get a professional involved that deals specifically with child development,
Powerful. Very good.
right? To understand what are the um, collateral damages, or what are the psychological concerns, and what are the long term um, issues that may arise specific to that child, because you
Mm,
can't make it a broad stroke on all children, right?
yes.
Um, and so, what you have to look at is to have an expert come in and say, all right, both of you have a position of one spanks, one believes in corporal punishment, and another one believes in communication, talking, grounding, taking away, limitations, and being able to have the child understand the reason
Right.
behind why these things are happening because of your behavior. And if you bring someone in that is able to come to a common ground, then maybe a spanking can be subdued to twice a year, and maybe a slap on the wrist, or maybe just a firm, in the face, this, we don't tolerate this behavior, and you
Right.
will not speak to your mama and your daddy or your brothers or your sisters or the teacher this way. you
Powerful.
know
Yeah. Yeah.
so you got to find a common ground that says, because if you don't do that and you feel that, I'm going to just keep spanking and then I'm going to keep talking, what you're going to find is you're going to find the child growing up with conflict
And manipulation can be a part of that as well.
and resentment.
That child will know how to move when they want what they
Right,
want, and kind of
right,
bob and weave like they're running on a field trying to make it to the field goal. You know.
right. They know they can get away with certain things with mom because mom's only going to talk to me. Mom's only going to take my
Oh,
little game station away. Mom's going to
mm,
say, "Oh, you can't go to this and can't go to that. You're grounded for a week, et cetera, et cetera. No TV, no whatever."
right.
Dad is going to pull out the belt,
Or you
right?
just you won't go to the prom. Oh my, that'd be
Right,
like,
right.
That's the end of the
Right.
world for a teenager.
Right, exactly. And so what happens is, I know that I can, great point, Minister Fred,
Yeah,
manipulate my mom more than I can manipulate my dad.
I think
And
that's
I can push
powerful.
the envelope,
Yeah. And
you know. Yeah.
it ultimately, you're absolutely right, Doc. And I hope this is helping you all because this is just really great information. But I think the
Mhm.
other thing that's powerful point you're saying that's underlying is that if there's no resolve in this communication, when no matter what the subject matter is or the concern is, you keep a wedge apart. You never can be the two becoming one because you
Yeah.
always got this beef on the left side, on the right side, and
Right.
it's always going to be something that can be used to destroy you all through
Yes.
a miss or
Yeah.
dis or non-communication.
Yeah.
Love it.
And
Wow.
then number two, you mentioned the love languages. I like
Mm.
touchy feely, whereas the other couple likes affirmation and what was the other thing you said? Affirmation
Affirmation and gifts.
and
Or
gifts.
gifts.
Right. Okay. And
Right.
so once again, there is this kind of, he don't touch me enough. We don't have intimate relations enough. And why is he always buying flowers? And why is she always giving me these cufflinks and all these different things? And I don't get, this, I don't, So again,
Mhm.
communication, talking, finding out where you both have your love languages. And here's the thing. Here's another part that's very, very important, Minister Fred. Um, Communication requires compromise.
Mm. Say that again. It got a hurt.
Communication requires compromise. And I'm
Go
not
ahead.
using compromise in a negative sense. I'm using compromise in, listen, Negro, you can't just do what you want to do because you're trying to love this woman and I want it my way and you're going to
Right.
accept this gift and that's it.
That ain't gonna work out, especially for
that's,
women. Women don't
that's
do that.
not going.
That's the
Yeah,
wrong
come
way to
on.
approach any subject matter.
Exactly. You can't just, this is how I am, and you got to accept me as I am, and my love language is this, and your love language is that, and I'm going to keep giving you 1,000 flowers, and you're going to just have to accept that. And no, I'm not touching you.
You will not be married long, just for the record.
Not
For the
long
record,
at all.
at all.
Exactly.
Wow.
Because,
You know what? That goes back to your point number one, where you talked about the quality time, making time. I mean,
yes,
designating time to
yes,
talk about the things that really turn you on or turn you off.
right,
Like it goes, like one segues into the second. So kudos.
yes.
That's huge, bro.
Yeah, yeah. It means that if you truly love the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, then you need to accept that these are some of the things I need to do to change my behavior, change my approach, accept that this is what she likes and this is what he likes. And, I'll give an example. Um, Men you ever read the book Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus?
I read it. True.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And yes, it is. And it has certain principles in there. And one of them is that men in general love affirmation, leadership. They love to be uplifted. They love to be not in control in a bad way, but they love to walk with their, in dignity and, and they love the idea that a woman, remember we talked about this before,
We
when
did.
certain men marry up,
Good. Right. Right.
level up. And so men, I remember when I had a relationship a while back, my significant other, my girlfriend, oh, she would manicure, pedicure, she would do the facial mask,
Mm.
she would make sure that I'm color coordinated, you know, she would make sure that I got the nice little cologne and smelling good and looking good so that when I walked out the house with her, now in my mind, look, I'm with her. She the one that looking fine and doing her thing, but she also took pride in her man, in me. You see what I'm saying? So when you now, as a woman or a man, realize these types of love languages, whether you like to or not, buy that facial mask for your man. Make sure that he is color coordinated. Make sure that he looks good and smells good, because we like that kind of affirmation from our women. On the other side, I'm not really touchy-feely. No, that you can't go around like that. She likes to have her hand held. She likes to feel your hand on her back. She likes to have her feet massaged from a long day. You know, so get over yourself and do what needs to be done to keep that relationship hot and spicy.
Yeah. And spicy. You said hot and spicy. Did y'all hear that?
And
Hot
spicy.
and spicy. Not just
And
hot.
spicy.
It might be a little too hot, but it got to be spicy so you can balance it, right? It's like
That's
you
right.
put spices in some beans and then you drop some turkey leg bone in there. Then you go
That's
some
right.
veggie, some what do you call it? Some Beyond Burger
Right,
beef
right.
substitute. I mean, you just work that thing. By the time
Right, right, right.
you just it's so good you won't even question what's in the pot.
Right, exactly. And you slow cook it. It's
You
going to
slow
take
cook it.
8,
You
10
slow cook
hours.
it.
Yeah, that means it
You
takes
lost your
time.
mind. Woo-wee. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get to listen. The other thing before we go out, because we're going to go to a video. I think, Professor, let's go to a video and come back and knock out these last 3. But I do want to say this as we move to this video, and I'm excited about this video. I think this is going to be a dope one. Let's do. One Day has a song called "Big God," but there is this notion that we can do any and everything without understanding that it destroys us first.
Mhm.
We think that we're doing something, we're being tough or we're being non-cooperative, that we're hurting our queen or our king, but we're really hurting ourselves, because at the end of the day, like Dr. Cross said, we're not growing. So we're not leveling. I'm not leveling up. So why should she want to stay with somebody who does not care about leveling up or becoming a better me? Because you're growing every day. We're changing, like you said in last week. Those mindset. If my mindset never changes, and today is the Saturday, and then tomorrow is going to be Sunday, my mindset has to be growing as I change, because the days change. It'll never be this day again. Folk, it will not be. No matter how beautiful, and it's beautiful outside. But we will get another beautiful day and even a better, cooler day tomorrow or some other day. Does that make sense? Does
Oh,
that
yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. The very important. I mean, Minister Fred, you hit the nail on the head again, that we have to work on ourselves. You know, I pray, one of my prayers as a single man, I have 2 prayers that
All right.
I lift up to the Lord. Lord, first, work on me.
Mm,
I always use the analogy of we are one big block of concrete, and the
okay.
Lord is chiseling away on that concrete and forming us and smoothing us over and removing all of the excess in order to form us into what we need to be. Well, in that forming, you say, Lord, form me not only for my relationship with you, but
Mm,
prepare me to be the man that I need to be for the woman. Now, my second prayer that I'm praying for is the woman that's out there that I'm asking the Lord to bless her and be with her and prepare her to be with me. And when you have that kind of prayer life, you
wow.
feel that, yes, it's a waiting game. Yes, you don't know when the Lord's going to put you together. Yes, you hope that it's going to happen tomorrow, and it may not. And now you're 54, now you're 45, now you're 35, now you're 27, whatever it is, whatever age you are. But those prayers mean that both people, both individuals should be working on themselves to prepare to go into a loving relationship. And these are, this entire month, tools that
Yeah.
Minister Fred is really dealing with, working on me, mindset,
Correct.
expectations,
Correct.
red flags,
Correct.
communication,
Right.
you know, all the things that say me first.
Right.
Because you
can't
cannot,
give.
you don't want to wait till you get down the aisle.
Correct.
And you don't want to wait till you're 5, 7, 8, 10 years in, you know, and you have not resolved certain things. Now, yes, stresses change, jobs change, gravity takes over, marriage happens, kids come, and of certainly circumstances change even in the marriage.
Yes.
But that's the reason why I recommend that you are continually in that growing process. Look, you could be 50 years married, and you should still be learning and growing.
Wow.
And so,
wow. Yeah. Okay, let's go to a video. Let's break it up a little bit. You can get out there, just stretch your chair, stretching your recliner, just get back and like, do that little 1, 2, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're going to go to this video by Wande. Shout out to Reach Records, and shout out to everybody that has taken the time. Don't forget to, if you see on the screen, this is ways you can support us as we continue to support you and the community with great information. So here it is. You're listening to the session, Bible Beats and Bars, with our amazing friend and amazing Dr. Michael A. Cross. We'll be right back. Enjoy the video. No more dirty.
No more dirty, baby.
No more dirty, baby.
Big big guy, wing gang, you know, big guy, big moves, set free, live blind day. That's how we living. It's one life living, I don't really get to read you. Walk by faith, let the Holy Spirit lead you. Heart is worth the kingdom, I ain't talking about soaring, but the Father got me soaring real high like an eagle. Send a prayer up, Father, never let me leave you. Harder for the race to end it than a camel through a needle. Treasure up there, don't rust. So I run it up, gotta rep Jesus. Ooh, yeah. I had to switch up my ways. I had to switch up the walk. Yeah, I'm going in with my faith. Ay, you know I roll with the flock. Ay, I do not move with the haste. Yeah, he directing the plot. Ay, you know my gift is not wasted. I'm trying to honor my pops. Yeah, big guy, I know, right? Big boss, set free, off the, ayy, with the eye wouldn't try me, ayy, with the most high key, yeah, copy y'all unlikely, yeah, baby I don't follow my lead, yeah, feeling like a fresh white tee, ayy, grace that shit on me, ayy, money can't really buy me, ayy, some of y'all press this tea, ayy, feeling like a fresh white tee, ayy, grace that shit on me, ayy, money can't really buy me, ayy, reckless, ayy, I ain't fearing no man, what is he gonna do, gotta believe I'm shot like it's Pikachu, see I'm walking by faith, all in spite of my fright, I ain't gotta have sight, ain't no peekaboo, if you out trying to sin, I can't link with you, if it ain't in his will, I relinquish too, God is all that I need, see I'm living in deep, but it can't just be me, gotta free him too, yeah, ooh. OMG, he did it again, told him come and see. Doing big things, now I got a big ring. See a girl had plans, but my God exceeds. Ooh, wow, ain't too late, but it really that deep. Gotta choose your fate. Go ahead and give a call, send a prayer, that's all. Say you wanna be free, and I'll see you in the gates. Yeah, ay, big God, I know, right? Big boss, set free, off the, ayy, with the eye wouldn't try me, ayy, with the most high key, yeah, copy y'all unlikely, yeah, baby I don't follow my lead, yeah, feeling like a fresh white tee, ayy, grace that shit on me, ayy, money can't really buy me, ayy, some of y'all press that tea, ayy, feeling like a fresh white tee, ayy, grace that shit on me, ayy, money can't really buy me, ayy, reckless, could it be me?
The blood of Christ made us clean.
The No More Dirty TV show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing the cleanest and dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip-hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, ciphers, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV Show. Connect with us and tune in.
Ooh, don't forget. That's how I go down. Welcome back to the session, Bible, Beats, and Bars. I want to say a huge shout out to my co-host, Marcus Sims Media, Marcus Sims of Marcus Sims Media. And then you already know the dopest DJ in the building, bringing that heat every week. After we get through this series, we going back, man. You already know it's going all the way up with DJ Scissorhand. And don't forget, let me do this too. Professor X, man, shout out to my man, Professor X, man, co-producer here on this show. Let's throw up my man, DJ Scissorhand's show, because tonight at 9 o'clock, every Saturday night at 9 p.m., we do our best to make sure that you get some of the most cleaned, baptized, secular beats. I mean, this dude baptized beats like it was never a piece of profanity or illicit message in it. I'm telling you, DJ Scissorhand is my man. He is amazing. So when you talk about a clean DJ, a DJ that is very conscious about what he's doing and what he's sharing, and then he also has a love for Yeshua the Christ. Again, we want to say thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, it's on G93 radio. So you just Google the G93 radio app. It'll say classic hip hop and R&B, because they do the clean kind of side of that, which is really amazing, because a lot of times the music we see now, I'm going to have to pass on it. So let's get right back in with, we got 3 more to go. It's none other than my man, the good doctor. The doctor has the best view every time I hang out with this dude. I'm going to have to come your way, man. I'm going to get on that West Coast, brother. It's Dr. Michael A. Cross. What's up, bro?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You're always welcome to come on this side, man. We good on the mic? We good on the mic? You can hear me?
Yeah, good on the mic, man. All right, so let's get in, man. Next one, brother. Round 3.
All right. Round 3. Yeah, this is good. This is good, man. This is good.
Good music, brother.
All right. Here's the thing. Number 3. Talk about expectations. Let me say that again. Talk about expectations. This is very vital. This is very important. And we're going to delve into a very important aspect of talking about expectations. Expectations are so key in a relationship. What do we mean by expectations? Each of us come to a relationship with past experiences and examples from our own parents, co-workers, friends, pop culture, and numerous other outside influences that form our worldview. We talked about that before. As such, we have biases and expectations of what the male and female is supposed to do in a relationship. We set up roles and rules. We set up guidelines and guideposts, and we often are very stubborn with these expectations unless discussed, hashed out, and resolved. So take time to discuss them. Let me give you some examples of what I mean by about expectations. Let me pull up my little note here.
Yeah.
Just give
me. That's important, man. That's important.
Yeah.
To know what that looks like. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's really important.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Let me give an example of what I mean. You have 2 couples, or 1 couple, I should say, with 2 individuals. And depending on how the couple is raised, single parent, both parents, raised by grandparents, raised by a single grandparent, or previous relationships, married before, divorced 2 or 3 or 4 times, blended family, the list can go on. You come into your relationship with these expectations. For an example, based on employment and job, who stays home with the kids? Who pays the bills and handles finances? Who does the yard work? Who gasses up the car? Right? We think that, well, a woman stays in the car and you jump out as a man and you gas up the car. Well, in today's society, women like to be independent. And so I'll jump out and gas up the car.
Mm.
Who does laundry? Who makes the bed in the morning after we have slept and we both get up getting ready to go to work? Who cooks the meal? Who does the grocery shopping? Who cares for the pets? Who decorates the house? And then we address this: who, both or other, or one or the other, disciplines the children. Who takes out the trash? Who and so there are so many things about planning vacations, providing income, cleaning the house. Who takes care of the spiritual matters? Who does the auto maintenance? And so the list goes on and on and on. And today, back in the day, it was just the man. The man did all the hard work, all the muscle, all the provider, the farm work. The woman stayed at home. She was a stay-at-home mom, child rearing. I hate to say the derogative term, but it's barefoot and pregnant. That's your role. The leave it to Beaver. Minister Fred, all of that has changed today.
Truly. Let me jump in here, and first of all, I want to say thank you for bringing this point up. This is a very powerful point, and I'm going to say this because there's a lot of people that listen. This point is so crucial because what it is it just basically says, where are we in the way we communicate? You share with us some things about communication, but now it's crucial that we have that conversation, because if we're not having a conversation, you won't know what your queen likes. You won't know how your queen wants you to do what it is she is expecting or would like for you to do. Then it's all based upon assumptions. Well, babe, I thought, well, babe, you didn't ask me. Well, babe, you didn't last time. Well, I thought well, honey, you just didn't ask me. You should have just asked me if I want to do this, do that. And then you find yourself in this space of, I don't think I know my man. I don't think I know my wife. I don't think I know my queen, my girlfriend. And you're just in a very, oh man, confusing state. And that's, the devil love that kind of stuff. He jump in, Doc, and he would just mess up your stuff. So I think this is a very crucial one, because it's really the intricate details of what an expectation looks like.
Right.
And then we can go in. What do you think, Doc? Talk to me.
Oh yeah. I mean, and like I said before, compromise. What I mean by that is there are look. Let me share this.
Okay.
We have certain single habits and single lifestyles and single expectations that we bring into the relationship. Things that I am just not going to do because my daddy didn't do it. Things that I'm not going to tolerate because my mom didn't tolerate. Things that by way of communication that I'm just, that's how I am. I'm single. This is me. And you're going to have to accept me the way I am. And you're not going to get far in a relationship if you're not willing to submit, humble, and say, well, maybe if we talk about child discipline, if we talk about who takes out the trash, if we talk about home maintenance and home management, if we talk about, I'll give another example. You get married, and, the typical thing is the male is usually the breadwinner. Right?
Right.
But your wife, usually, but your wife gets her master's degree, gets her doctorate, or gets a blessing of a good job that now makes her a top executive, and she becomes the breadwinner.
Come on.
Now, how do you feel about that? Are you gonna feel castrated? Are you gonna feel second class? Are you gonna feel like she's now taking control of everything, and I, and I'm just here for the sex or for the kids or for the stability? Or are we going to sit down as a couple and
Come on
talk
now.
about, honey, the roles have changed, which is fine. And what are now the expectations of you working longer hours, being on the road, bringing home the bacon, and what do you expect me to do if I have to now move from full time to part time, and
Right.
now I, the husband, become the raising of the children, managing the home, cooking, and etc. That is typically the female role.
So, and I love that because it's almost like daddy daycare. You start looking at some of the movies out there
Right,
where
right,
um, the woman made more money. And I think the other question that comes up is how do you have that conversation? It's
yeah,
definitely important, and I'm going to be transparent on this side. Um, if I had known that that was a very important conversation to have, and I know there are thousands of men that are listening, they're going like, "Man, Fred, I blew it. I straight up blew it." I thought because
yeah,
my dad ran the house all my life, came from a traditional background, blah blah blah. You know, whatever that scenario
right,
is. But I
right,
think these communication lessons are so important, folks, because at the end of the day, this is the beauty of learning about your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your spouse, and saying, "Babe, tell me what it was like when you grew up." One, tell me what your thoughts are now that you make as much or more. Would you prefer me to come off the job and be, again, these are amazing tips, Doc.
oh
These
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
I mean, can you imagine being that guy that could say, "Hey, listen, I'll take care of the home. I'll make sure I pick up the kids. I'll do whatever I got to do. But what I'd like for you to do now is you're going to have to make sure you get with executive management and say, I will every Friday. I want to be off because that's my demand. If you take this position or whatever you discuss how that goes so that you'll have your
right,
still quality time, your date night, or we a nanny to take care of the kids, and we go out of 1 month because just different
right,
things.
right,
And
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
this is powerful, Dr. Cross. Like this information costs a lot of money. You're getting a lot of information, folks.
yeah,
And
man,
that's
yeah,
not to discredit
yeah,
that you will have to call him and set an appointment, and you're gonna have to pay my man when it's time. But
right,
imagine 18 to 24 months of getting this out the way before
yes,
you even walk down the aisle. You would know for sure if that's your boo. You'll know for
yeah,
sure.
no question, no question,
You'll know for sure.
and yeah, and I had a friend that said, well, I mean, and let me give you a little bit of a feedback, constructive criticism. Well, Dr. Cross, all this is fine and dandy, but you're not married. I said, okay. Number two, um, and things change when you get married. And I said, yep, you're correct. However, I don't need to be married, and when you're married, things don't change from the things that I'm telling you now that you should have known and could have known prior to going down the aisle, that now you're trying to fix 5 and 6 and 10 years in.
Come on now.
Um,
Wow.
I don't need to be married to tell you not to beat your wife,
Come on.
not to castrate your husband.
Come on.
I don't need to be married to tell you that communication is important in all aspects of business, Hollywood, corporate, friendship, marriage, relationship, mom and dad, husband, wife, etc. These are universal principles
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I tell you, like you said, Minister Fred, if you had spent 18 to 24 months on all
Mm.
the things we're talking about with mindset, communication, and we haven't even dealt with, look, we're getting so deep, we haven't even dealt with red flags.
Yeah, we haven't even got there. But listen,
That's
it's
that's
crazy.
coming. Yeah. And so would you rather have a solid toolbox of skills and
Come on.
ideas and things that you can do on month number 24, day number 30, when she says and you say, I do, then have nothing,
Mm.
and you go down the aisle, and nothing's resolved. You have no skills, no anything. But remember the mindset? Oh, we're just romantic. We're good. We have sex. We have a couple children. We're good. But you know nothing about your spouse.
Mm.
And then when things begin to now seep in, honey, that trash has been piling up for 2 weeks. What's going on? Well, that's your responsibility.
Oh my goodness. Here we go.
Here we go. Honey, I cooked, and I'm expecting that if I cook, you wash the dishes. Right. Well, but honey, I thought that we were in this together and we washed the dishes together.
Ooh-wee.
Right?
Well,
and so
this is serious.
expectations. And one last thing before I let you continue, Fred. You talked about the devil is real, conflict is real, and let me tell you something. All it takes is any one of the 152, 300 expectations to be an issue that starts this small and goes to this big, and now you're down the aisle of divorce.
You know what? I was sitting here. I was sitting here listening to you, and Spirit was like, "I want you to calculate this." I calculated my counselor. I have a counselor that I do, just my chiropractic counselor, right? And I calculated just doing my, my assessment came to $400. Let's just do that. $400. Yeah. Oh, what are you trying to say, Professor? Yeah, I have a counselor. Therapist, right? No, I think it's healthy. It's healthy to have so you have something to bounce off. Think about it. You spend 400 doing a couple sessions, then what? $7,500 a session. But you glean this kind of information. But if I was going to go buy me some sneakers, come on now, some J's, I'm spending. I might get 3 pair of J's, two depends on what. If it's retro, it's only 2 pair of J's. 3 pair if you're just regular 75s, and most sneakers run 70 to 100. You're wearing sneakers that's not gonna help you grow. It's just gonna make you look good. But you can go to a certified board counselor like my man and glean. You and your loved one can glean and grow.
Yeah.
So was the $400 worth it? Buying the sneakers, or the $400 worth growing your relationship that's going to forever change? I mean, that's facts.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And I wish at the time, I wish I would have had you counseling me when I was in a past relationship, because I'm looking, I'm going, be honest. Let me tell you, man, I text my ex and I apologize. Since we've been on here, I had to make amends a while back, and I was like, you know what, I didn't get it. My apology.
Yeah.
My apology.
Yeah.
And now I know how to do better. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be a better person. And I just want to be transparent, because I think a lot of people listening need to take the time and send the text if it's not right, that relationship was unresolved when you went your separate ways, or if you were able to have a resolve it in some peace, then you can always be able to have, because you have to have a friendship to get to, you should have a friendships rather, to get to the point where you want to be with that person. And so I just want to encourage you that if it's unresolved, resolve it. Take these tips, write these notes, go to our YouTube channel, No More Dirty Ink. Call Dr. Cross, hit him up, and y'all want you to give your email and all that before we go to the next 2 points. But take the time to be better. Man, I'm a better person now than I was 10 years ago. And so we pray that this is going to be a blessing. Professor,
yeah, man. Oh yeah,
Go
man.
ahead.
Let me share my contact information. Then I want to make a one last point on your thing about the Jordans and the investment. So Dr. Michael A. Cross at iCloud.com. That's D David Romeo dot Michael A. Michael across@icloud.com. And then you can always reach me out, 505-975-8888. Again, that's 505-975-8888. One of the things that you mentioned, Fred, is the return on your investment, what we call in the business world the ROI.
Say that.
Right? The return on your investment. Now, you're talking about lifelong. You're talking about love. You're talking about sharing yourself and your life with someone and having a long-term relationship. If you buy them Jordans, you buy whatever material item, number one, the return on your investment is very low because like a computer, like a car, like electronics, it will go out of style very soon. A new version of whatever you bought will come up. Every year they come out with a new iPhone. I'm still on my iPhone from a year ago, and they talking about the iPhone 13 this year. So it's already, oh man, you old. That stuff we done. Now we got 13 Max, 13 this, whatever. Now here's the thing. Would you rather invest in those things that fade in time, lose their luster, invest in something that the trend is gone, or invest in something that is long-term that says, honey, let's go to counseling. Let's take that same $400 or $500. Let's get 12 sessions or whatever number of sessions, 15 sessions, couple months, month and a half, 2.5 months. And let's invest in growth for ourselves that will make us prepared to walk down the aisle, and also do another investment at the 5, 10, 15, 20-year mark that you're married. Because it takes work and it takes investment in time and counseling and professional individuals and marriages, like coaches that have been married for a long time, to give you that objective understanding of how best to go through that marriage. And you're right. People spend and use all these other things to try to fix. If I buy these Jordans, I'm going to look good. My wife's going to be happy. No, your wife needs to be touched. She needs her love languages dealt with. Man, if I buy this nice car, we're going to be driving real nice. Yeah, but you haven't talked to your husband in a year. Not really talked, but you're driving a nice car.
Wow.
And so what are you investing in? Investing in material things to try to fix underlying issues, or investing in real counseling and real help to address issues that need to be addressed to make your marriage happy? Very important.
Powerful. So ultimately, is your choices a choice that begins to appreciate the relationship or depreciate the relationship? The minute a car comes off the yard, it depreciates by 20%. The minute you spend time and get counseling and all that stuff, it appreciates and it gets better and better and better. All right, let's get with 4.4. 4 communication. What you got? What you got for us?
All right. Number four. Be sincere and use a tone of voice that shows sincerity.
Say it again, brother. Be
sincere and use a tone of voice that shows sincerity. A most important aspect of relationship is body language. Your body language and nonverbal behaviors and cues can tell a lot about a person. Facial expressions and hand gestures are very telling of one's attitude and bias. I encourage my couples to role play, take time to play games, and watch how each person interacts under stress or responses to certain stimuli. How does he or she speak to me in the game of charades? And when we are in public, how do we communicate? When we have an intimate dinner alone, how is the communication? And when you have had a long, stressful day, does he or she take out their stress on their partner?
Mm. That when you
So,
first started, brother, be sincere. That right
yes,
there is crucial.
crucial, crucial. Because, as I mentioned, I have a friend. Uh, he's in his 60s, and his daughter is in her 30s, and was dating for about 14, 15 months. And all is well, and they're doing their thing and having a great time until one day he raised his voice and called her out of her name.
Hmm.
She packed up and she is gone and single again today because she will not tolerate insincerity, raising a voice, and because you're stressed and because of whatever your past, whatever is, you think it is ideal and acceptable to raise your voice at me and call me out of my name. And if that doesn't get resolved or you think you can get away with it, it turns into verbal and physical abuse.
Mm. Ooh.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And a lot of times the verbal and voice, look, you can tell when somebody is being smart with you, as the old folks say. Someone who is looking to get into an argument with you. They are vying for conflict. They strive for conflict. They live in drama.
Yeah.
They look for every negative thing on a cloudy day, on a sunny day. And when you have that kind of personality, that negative personality, it comes across in your body language, in your voice, etc. And it's even more potent when now you are engaged in an intimate relationship where the person sees you every day, interacts every day. And if you don't nip that thing in the bud and say, honey, you can't talk to me that way. Honey, you need to be a little bit more softer. Honey, I'm not into all that drama and all this back and forth. If you don't resolve it, it can destroy any form of communication with couples.
Again, it goes back to what you said before, the quality time. And when you're together, what are those expectations? Being very, 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 very concise and clear. And then making sure that what you say lines up with how your body responds or reacts, or how you use your body language. Because your body's going to tell the truth when you're not. Your body going to be you when you're not trying to be you. That's what I learned. You're like, yeah, I love you. And you're really irritated and you really don't care. You're just saying that so you can just brush the situation off. So I think that's powerful. That is powerful. And the other thing I'll say, and then we'll move right on to the fifth point. I think it was important what you said was body language is important because body language is the internal bleeding out of the external as a result of what is inside. So whatever how you dealing with it on the inside is going to bleed out. It's going to ooze out. It's going to slip out. It's going to be and it's just like being pessimistic on the inside and everything is negative on the outside. Never satisfied. And it's just very, very toxic. I think that's the other thing that when I was listening to you is that if we're not careful, the Bible says, don't let your good be evil spoken of. But you can say all day, I love you, but how I treat you says I don't care about you. And so we, meaning I, you, us, all of us listening and will listen, we have to really be conscious about what's going on. And I think that's where God comes in a certified Christian counselor that's seriously board certified can say, hey, 18 months. How many months y'all been together? Have you all considered this? What's next for us? What should I expect? Or how do I treat you? What is your love language? Why should I, by the time you get through with this stuff, you're gonna be so all into each other, you ain't gonna be able to, you got to pull each other off just to go to work or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
You'll be
Yeah,
like, I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
even want to leave. The bedroom is so good up in here. I don't even want, let's go walk. You'll be taking your lunch break and connecting, which is great. It's just what I'm saying.
Yeah. Fred, you bring up another good point. Here's one thing I tell people all the time. Um, and you and I know this. Let me go even all the way back to even middle school.
Okay.
You're interested in a young lady, a young man, and what's the first thing you do? You put on a mask, right? We learned that from childhood. We put on our best behavior. We come home and we put on the best pair of jeans, the best Jordans, and we want to make sure that we impress that young man, that young woman. Well, really, it's a child, in middle school. We want to impress that person. And we go all the way through middle school and high school with all these likes and romanticizing and everything, and we put on the mask. Why? We don't want the young woman or the young man to know that my parents are divorced.
Correct.
We don't want them to know that I'm living in the hood in a rat infested, roach infested spot.
Right.
We don't want them to know that I haven't eaten in 3 days and the lunch at school is the only meal that I've had.
Right.
Right? So now those circumstances are extreme. I'm just using them as examples, but I'm talking not about the circumstance. I'm talking about what you portray outward to a person that you have an interest in, and we put on masks. So what happens now when you're in college and you are 25 and then you leave college and you're 27 and you're 30? Anytime you get into those kind of relationships, what happens? We put on masks. We put on our best behavior. We don't want them to know that I'm living in a certain situation, that my bank account is zero. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. Or I have in those desired communications I'm talking about that I don't want to address: divorce, single mom, single dad, domestic violence, addiction. I drank. I had sexual addiction, porn addiction, whatever. We put on masks to put on our best behavior for that significant other. Guess what? What I'm talking about is you need, in that 18 to 24 months, you need to start removing those masks.
You know what? Wow, this is okay. I want to say this, and then we're going to go to the fifth point, because this series that we're doing is so powerful. I dare say it's probably in the top 10 in our country, in our nation, when you deal with relationships, especially digging into the skeletons or the closed doors.
Yeah, the closets.
Closed doors and closets, right? Yeah, that's
the
right.
Closets. Yeah,
closets. Okay, the closets, right? Thank you for that. What I think is really important too is that we have to make decisions to do these 5 lessons, because we will never be better. Facts. And you can't expect your spouse, your girlfriend to accept this mess if you're not willing to change it and do whatever it takes to be different and better. It's one thing to say, I understand. It's another thing to say, well, what are you doing to remedy it or to be better? And that's why this is so important. That's why we're doing what we're doing here at No More Dirty. That's why the session Bible Beats and Bars is so doggone important. Because I don't know how many people, we know a lot of people listen, but I don't know how many people are on their last leg in a relationship, Doc.
Yeah.
Just don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
We do know they're drowning in the lack of information or misinformation, or just really not knowing what to do with the information. So thank you for sharing, man. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. And one last point, we'll go to number 5, is
Okay.
if you are on that last leg, if you are in that depression, anxiety, if you are in that this is the last straw, get help, turn it around, sit down and communicate with, if you truly love the person you want to be with, and say, look, we have had this, few months or even a year, and we need help. Go on and get it. Find you a Symbis counselor, contact me. Go get a couple that has been married for many years to ask them questions and begin to look at better ways to communicate if you want to save and salvage and redeem the relationship that you're currently in. There is always room for redemption and turning things around and not just letting it go. Because what happens is, and then we'll go to number 5, is that if you don't do it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to break up and you're going to go into the next relationship with the same issues. Let's see. Still there, Fred?
I'm here, man. I'm just taking it in, brother. I'm taking it in, brother. But it's just really important, man, because at the end of the day, if we don't really do what it takes, I mean, we do any and everything to get the bag. I'm gonna just be 100. We will do anything. We will sell our souls. We will say anything. We will wear anything. We wear nothing to get it. We will sleep with everybody. We'll get in a video and do everything under the sun. We will sell dope. We will compromise our integrity, our upbringing. We will do all of this stuff. Listen to me. We will do all of this stuff to get something temporal that depreciates. The minute you get this money, you got to be looking over your shoulder. Who's going to get me? How do I move this money around? How do I do this? I'm gonna be a player. I got 4 girlfriends out of state, 2 in the city, 1 in the country. I'm a chick that got dudes all over the place. I got all these sugar daddy. I mean, we got all of this going on.
Yeah.
All of this going on, bro. And all we had to do is just take these 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 steps of communication and be real with God. Be real with ourselves. I'm weak here. I got issues. I got addictions. I'm doing this. And instead of me spending the money, quality money, to become a better me, so when I step to this fine sister, this handsome brother, or this brother step to me, I will have something really credible and valuable to give other than just being sexy or handsome or fine.
Right.
So this, what we're doing today, is crucial.
Yeah.
It is crucial. It is like, man.
Yeah.
All right, let's
now,
go, man.
Number 5, last one. This is also very important when we talk about even number 1, talking about plan sufficient time to talk and listen. Number 5, plan interactions that support dreams and goals. We all have dreams and aspirations. One of the best ways to build a strong relationship is to take time and support each other's goals, dreams, and hobbies. If your partner has an interest in art, then when gift giving time comes around, invest in some art and craft supplies. If there is a career interest in the law, then take time, a lunch date to the courthouse, and spend time watching legal dramas, shows, and films. If a partner likes to travel and would like to see the world, plan a trip to an exotic place on the earth or spend time watching the shows on world travel. Showing interest.
Yes. That's good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Folks feeling you, bro. For real.
Man. Showing interest in your partner's dreams, aspirations, and goals shows you care and are on the journey with them to mutual success. And Minister Fred, that's so important, so vital. One of the things I love about when I talk with my couples, I always ask that question as kind of a icebreaker for me. What are your interests? What are your dreams? What are your goals? What do you like to do? What are some of your hobbies that you like to do? And I've had them all. I've had, like me, I love to stargaze, so astronomy is a big thing for me. I love the law, so I love the L.A. Law and Law and Order and All Rise and Matlock and Perry Mason, and so West Wing, and so all of these kinds of hobbies and things you like, you really should, again, as a couple, engage in showing and supporting the interest of your loved one with their dreams and goals, and finding ways in that spending time to support that. If you say, we love sculpting, we love when you do clay work. Well, let's
Right.
go find a class that we can go and do the spinning of the clay and the forming
Right.
of different things and putting into the urn and hardening it and painting it and find common interest. And even if it's not a common interest, the part of love is, I may not like it, but my spouse or my significant other likes it. So let me
Yeah.
show an interest because I love her, I love him. And very
Powerful.
vital, very important.
Powerful. And I want to say this I know we're wrapping up, and we want to say thank you for taking the time to rock out with us because this is good and this is needed. The other thing is, which goes back to the other previous 4 points, is the reason why talking and spending time and all that is that's how you find out what your boo likes. That's how you find out that your boo is really in love with doing art. If I could do this for a career, I would do X, Y, and Z. Well, then, okay, then let me support you. And I'll say this, if you get to a point where you're with somebody who does not believe in what you're about and does not support you, you may really want to look at that because like we're going to talk about next week, red flags, man.
Yeah,
Like that's
red
a real
flags.
situation.
Yeah,
She might be fine. He might be all that in a bag of Doritos with some salsa dip. But if he doesn't care about what you care about, he's not concerned or she's not concerned, you may be in the wrong relationship. You may
oh
need to
yeah,
just be friends.
yeah,
And when you get through walking through these little communications, boy, and these are lifeline. These are really, Doc, you could do this every day. Like you said, as you get older together,
yeah,
because everything changes.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
if they don't see
Yeah,
what you see and they can't appreciate it, you may need to get up out of that for real, you know?
yeah, because what it can turn into, just a snippet of the red flag, what it can turn into is them blocking you and blocking your blessings, or it can turn into verbal and physical abuse that you're trying to go do something and they don't want you to do it, and so now they force their personal will on you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Honey, I want to go back to school and get my master's, get my doctorate. I want to get a better pay. No, I'm the breadwinner, and you're not going to outperform and outdo and out doctor and out masters me because I like my job
right,
at the plant. I like my job at McDonald's or whatever.
right,
You're
right.
not going to do. Oh, so you don't want me to level up? You don't want me to have a better career? No, I'm in charge.
Mm, yeah, that's not
I'm just
good.
giving you a snippet of a red flag of control.
Yeah, and this is what we're going to talk about next week. I think this
Yeah.
is a great way to segue again. I think let's put our hands together again for Dr. Cross, man. Man, thank you so very much for taking time to be with us. And man, yeah, this is good stuff, Doc.
Oh yeah, man.
This is good stuff.
It's been fun.
This is good. This is we've been eating some shit. This ain't no milk here. This is meat, baby.
Oh yeah,
This,
baby.
this
Yeah, man.
red meat. This is Beyond Burger and Beyond whatever.
Yeah,
Good
man. Oh
veggies. So
yeah,
this is
man.
all plant
Yeah.
based.
Plant-based healthy, baby. Plant-based healthy. Yeah, man.
So listen, let's do this. Let's wrap it up with the God's mailbox. Shout out to our big sister and uh, the late sister Doss, who gave us this. And I really what I'd like for us to do, just real simple, is just let's pray that folk will make a decision to communicate properly and
Oh yeah.
effectively. So
Yeah.
if you would start it, I'll close it, and then we're going to leave you with a song by God Over Money. That's the whole squad, called Payback. there's a payback when you really serve God and when you really take the time to love each other and learn about each other. So would you bless us, start us out, and then I'm gonna close us, and then we'll wrap it up. How about that?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Doc, would you do that, Bishop?
All right, let's pray. Loving Father in heaven, once again, it's such a privilege. It is indeed an honor to serve you and to be favored by you in all that we do to build your kingdom. And kingdom building in relationships includes better, strong, quality communications. That's how you communicate with us. You gave us the rules and the guidelines and the edicts of your will, and you empowered and inspired holy men of God to write it down. And we came now to your word. And through your word, we can communicate with you through prayer and through your scriptures. And so communication is key. And I pray that you have given me these principles. I pray that those that are listening will take these 5 principles, just examples, and there's so many more, to help them build a better communication in their relationships as they're dating and courting. And for those who are already married, maybe you can take 1 or 2 or all 5 of these principles to help you learn how to communicate better with your spouse. So we are privileged. We are thankful and grateful to Minister Fred, to No More Dirty, to Bible Beats and Bars, the session where we have an opportunity to share with those who are listening, our viewer audience, these principles of saving your marriage before it starts. We thank you, we praise you, and we lift up those couples and those young people and those contemplating marriage, that they will take these principles and allow them to have strong relationships and allow them to serve you better in communicating and knowing expectations and knowing roles and etc. But now, Lord, as we finish out, we pray for all those who presented their God's mailbox. They may have special needs. There may be health. There may be hospital. There may be schooling. There may be relationships. There may be sickness among them. And we lift them up today, that you would bless them where they are. They may lean on thee and know that you are close. We thank you. We praise you. Bless Minister Fred in a mighty way and the entire No More Dirty team. And then save us in your kingdom. For we ask this prayer in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. And so, God, as we continue, we just want to say thank you now. You said before we ask, that you already have heard before we make our petition known. And Dr. Cross made the petition known on behalf of all of us. You said that you already have figured out a way that we could be able to escape those bad situations and be better individuals. So we thank you in advance. We love you in the name of Yahshua the Christ, pleading the blood of he who has made all things well, from the top of our heads to the soles of our feet. We thank you for blowing our mind. And Lord, I pray every day. And so I pray on behalf of not just myself and Dr. Cross and Professor X and DJ Scissorhand and Marcus Sims, but on behalf of everyone listening worldwide, from the worst circumstance to the best situation, that we would allow you to blow our minds today going forward and show us how big you are as God in our situation, so that we can always say, the greater is you in us than we in the troubles that we encounter in this life. Because what's bound in heaven is bound in earth. And you always want good for us. So show us how to be good, how to live good, how to serve our loved ones and our boo and our bae the best way we can, in the name of Jesus, Yahshua the Christ of the Bible. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Brother. Okay. We made it, brother. We made it.
We made it.
Listen, can you do me one favor? Can you go through, give them the 5 points that we covered?
Sure.
And then we're going to go out with a song. And next week, folks, we're going to do the last 5. So if you enjoyed today, you do not want to miss next week, the session Bible Beats and Bars. Give us the 5 points you covered today, and then we're going to let them jam out with GOME. God over money.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man. Plan sufficient time to talk and listen. Number one. Number two, take time to be certain that you reach an agreement.
Come on,
right? Number two. Number three, talk about expectations. Okay. Number four, be sincere and use a tone of voice that shows sincerity.
Be nice and
That's
do right.
right. Yeah. Be nice and do right. And number five, plan interactions that support dreams and goals.
That's what's up. If you in it, she need to be in it. If she in it, you need to be in it. You ain't got to run it, but you got to be with it. That's what's up. So on behalf of us here, Dr. Cross, thanks again, man. Salute to you.
Yeah,
Enjoy
man.
the video, man. Listen, don't forget my man DJ Scissorhand on the back end 9 tonight. Oh, you already know, No More Dirty Radio Show. That's tomorrow on Sunday, 5 p.m. G93. Shout out to Ed Gaines. And at 6 o'clock, we up 103.1 worldwide on the web, nomoredirty.org. The podcast, No More Dirty Radio Show, Minister Fred 2 in front of it. And then listen, next week we're gonna announce we move to another. We got another big radio opportunity. We're gonna move on to. Oh man, I ain't gonna tell you till next week. Just next week, baby. Let's go, and don't forget to go and support us. Cash App, No More Dirty Inc. and nomoredirty.org. There it is. That's what it is on the screen. All right, man. Shout out to Professor X. Get us out of here, baby. I'm about to jump out my skin. I'm about to, man, communicate, baby. Communicate.
All right.
Yeah. Running for the squad, push the rock like I'm Rondo. Holy Spirit living in my body like a condo. Covered by the blood in this mug like a poncho. Up another level on the devil, this that God flow. Christ came, tell him Christ reigns in the convo. I met my father, guess I gotta let my mom know. I met his daughter through that ring upon a pronto. If we the party, he the head, I'll call him honcho. Just the elevator, send the hater to the top flow.
Tell the industry that busy me gon' pick a lock though. Kick it in when they see us, I bet their hearts will drop low. It's real hip hop, bro. They say it's not though, but God told us preach is gospel and we will not fall. Yeah, this is payback because since way back they played crap, injecting us with poison like a caged rat. In the laboratory, why you think we stay trapped? But we gon' push this freedom where the mental slaves at.
Really, I'm just trying to get the vibe back. This is on my mind, it be like that. Geo weapon life, we don't hide that. Messenger for Christ, I'ma die that. You're hating on the squad, dialing way back. I just talk to God, we go way back. This for the Lord's trying to find a way back. Riding on the devil, call it payback.
Got that that living water all around me, get a wash though. We gon' shine brighter, auto body like a car show. I said auto body, hold up, Bobby, that's a bar, bro. Ricky Bobby, hold up, copy, that's a card. My new life better than my old one. I was looking for the static back in 01. I was living hella tragic, having no son. Drew to Christ, knew the life, I ain't gotta own none.
Ain't nothing like no debt, but my nail net like not yet. Bills coming on the field running, but still nothing, but we don't quit. A lot of y'all in your bag. Right away, get the two-step. When the squad getting that two-deck, we got it on lock like a vice grip. I got a mission, I reside. But the truth is, I recline. When it's finished, till that time I play my part, I go AI. Got no time for pretty pie. I don't eat that, give me rye. Better like my appetite, the truth, the light be the fuel for the payback. I was deep in evil with my carcass. He released the noose beneath my conscience. He removed the tool to help me bondage. He rebuked the foolish and the nonsense. Facing death, the faith, we got to shake that. Fear, we gain the grace beyond the paycheck. Armored up, we fighting time for combat. Devil man,
Really, I'm just trying to get the vibe back. Jesus on my mind, it be like that. Geo went for life, we don't hide that. Messenger for Christ, I'ma die that. You're hating on the squad, dialing way back. I just talk to God, we go way back. Just for the love, trying to find a way back. Riding on the devil, call it payback.
Do you guys see this app right here?
Christ made us clean.
The No More Dirty TV show, hosted by Minister Fred 2, airing the cleanest and dopest music videos in the industry every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the No More Dirty Inc. YouTube channel. We got clean, positive Christian hip-hop and urban music for your viewing and listening pleasure. We also have music video exclusives, interviews, ciphers, life lessons, and more. Make sure to follow us at Minister Fred 2, at No More Dirty Inc., and at No More Dirty Radio Show. For more information, email us at info@nomoredirty.org or call 256-698-9749. The No More Dirty TV show. Connect with us and tune in.